If you have a question for Dr. Donna, please do leave it on my page and I will be happy to answer the question for you. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talking with Dr. Donna. I am your host, Dr. Donna White Carey, and thank you so much for keeping your appointment tonight. I'm so excited. We're going to have such a great show tonight. We're going to continue our series on Black Boy Joy, but before we get to all of that, you know how we have to start by introducing what is the whole point and the mission of Talking with Dr. Donna, and that is to revolutionize the way we think about health. We want to think about health and building a generational health network. And that network has 4 pillars to it: a spiritual pillar, emotional and mental pillar, physical pillar, and environmental pillar. If we pay attention to our health in each one of these pillars, we can change the health of generations to come. It only takes one change from one person in the generation, and that can impact 4 generations just from you getting healthier. So that is our mission. Of course, if you are not a regular subscriber to my channel, I welcome you to go over to YouTube if you're watching from some other channel and just subscribe. I appreciate that. And then hit the bell icon right next to it so that you know every time I go live. And I go live every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You have an appointment. So welcome, good evening to all of you out there. I see you. If you're interested in following me, which I certainly hope that you are, these are my handles, how you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, on YouTube, of course, and on Facebook. So please do make sure that you follow me because we do things all throughout the week talking about health and ways in which you can get involved with building generational health. All right, so it's Black History Month, y'all. You know I love it. I love it. I say that I sprinkle black magic every single day, but it's extra special this month for Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to each and every one of you. Remember, poor health anywhere is a threat to good health everywhere. Now that's from Dr. Donna, adapted from Martin Luther King Jr. I'm going to give him credit that he made me think about health in a very unique way. And so that is my quote, adapted from Dr. King. So tonight, oh, thank you, Donnell. How could I almost forget the other reason why I'm excited today? It is Happy Women Physicians Day. Woo! Happy Women's Physician Day to all of my sisters who made it through the toughest 4 years of your life. I know, and residency. So congratulations to you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being concerned about not just your health, but the health of each and every one of the patients that you serve. So thank you. I'm going to give you another round of applause, because you are awesome and you are appreciated. And so I hope that someone said Happy Women's Physician Day to you today. And if they didn't, Dr. Donna just did. All right, so today is part 2 of an exciting series, Black Boy Joy. Last week, if you did not tune in, we did Black Boy Joy for middle and elementary aged kids. And so this week we are continuing it on, and we're going to look at the challenges, the triumphs, and the advocacy in raising our young teens and our young adults. So I have awesome guests with us tonight. I wanted to share this quote, of course, in honor of Black History Month. Frederick Douglass, who was a literary genius, wrote so many interesting, thought-provoking articles about Black people. He said this quote that I thought was so appropriate for tonight, which is that it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And for our society, if we focus in on really trying to make sure we build strong children, we'll hopefully have less men to rebuild. Tonight, I have some really great guests who have not just who have Black boy joy. Let's start there. They definitely have Black boy joy, but they also work to help keep our teens and our young adults restoring Black boy joy that may be lost and having Black boy joy to make sure that our kids are growing into strong, healthy men. As always, we're live, so if you have questions for our guests tonight, I'm going to encourage you to put it into the chat section, and I am going to help ask these questions to our wonderful guests as we move forward. So thank you all for being here. I see you all here tonight. So let's get started because I know you want to talk to our guests. So our first guest tonight is Mr. Antoine Towers. He is born and raised in Oakland, California. He is a violence interrupter, and we're going to ask him what that means when we bring him on, with Youth Alive and the chair of the Oakland Violence Prevention Coalition. He was a member of the Reimagined Public Safety Task Force as a representative of District 3, where he was appointed by the City Council. And growing up in a city where trauma has impacted multiple ways, Mr. Towers has made it his life's work to come up with solutions to reducing violence and harm in his community with hopes of breaking cycles to prevent his children from going through the same experiences that he had to go through. So welcome, Antoine Towers, to Talking with Dr. Donna. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Our next guest is Mr. Robert Williams. He grew up in San Francisco, and I'm going to let him tell his story a little bit. But he also had impacts on his life and mental health challenges growing up. But now he is a young man of color who is the MHSA program manager at Health and Human Resource Education Center here in Alameda County. He has been in multiple workforce programs and youth empowerment programs. And moving from San Francisco to Oakland, he's learned how to maneuver and work in diverse environments across the Bay Area. He is living proof that with the right guidance and supportive development, you can successfully create a healthy, striving, and uplifting young person through the nonprofit model. So let's welcome Robert Williams to Talking with Dr. Donna. Hey, Robert.
Hi, Ms. Dr. Donna. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. And then our final guest is KJ, as we call him, but Kentany Jackson. He grew up in deep East Oakland, born and raised here his entire life. He considers himself a success story. He managed to survive being in the streets of Oakland, surrounded by so much that could harm his health. But still, he was able to graduate in 2018. And during his summer internship after graduation, he collected with Talia, who is the executive director of the HHREC, and Robert, our guest here today. And now he is working and helping his community as well. So he is the program coordinator of Downtown Tay, and we're going to learn what all these programs are. But let's welcome KJ to Talking with Dr. Donna. Welcome, KJ.
Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Yes, thank you. I am so proud of you three. I'm just excited for you to be here, and I thank you so much for being here to talk about Black Boy Joy. I mean, You guys are well versed in what it means to have Black Boy Joy. What does it mean to kind of traverse the harm and the dangers in your teen and young adult years? And now here you are. So I'm going to start. First of all, we're just going to go around and I'm going to ask you to explain what program you're over and what does that program do. So I'm going to start with you, Brother Antoine. Tell us, what does it mean to be a violence interrupter? And what is the Oakland Violence Prevention Coalition? What do you do? We can't hear Antoine. I can hear you. We'll turn you up a little bit. Go ahead. Hold on, Antoine. Hold on 1 second, Antoine. Everyone is saying they can't hear Antoine. So we're going to come back to you, Antoine, and let's see if we can figure out what's going on with your sound, because I really want everyone to hear you. So hold on, Antoine. Everyone says it sounds like you're muted. They can't hear you. So let's hold on, and then let's go to Robert. Robert, tell me what do you do at the Health and Human Resource Education Center? And what is MHSA? Can you explain a little bit about what it is that you do?
Of course. Again, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So I run the Mental Health Services Act program at HHREC. That's the acronym, but the actual name of it is the Health and Human Resource Education Center. The program I run is sort of like a project-based program where I assist community-based organizations or our sister CBOs around sort of mental health awareness, whether it's getting them on our podcast or working with them in conjunction in their programs, or even what I do personally. I run a MHSA what is it? The MHSA Community Young Men of Color Forum, and that forum is a safe space for BIPOC youth, specifically young men. It's a young men only, to come together and discuss issues and challenges facing their communities. Um, and kind of what that does is I like to spread mental health awareness in a positive light. And I know that mental health for young men isn't really talked about. I
Mhm.
can speak to it myself. It took a very long time to understand why my mental health was so detrimental in my life and why it was so important to like try and save it, try
Mm,
and fix it, and keep it close to me so that way I didn't feel like I had to be in survival mode all the time.
right.
Um, but that's pretty much what my program does, and kind of why I do the work I do. And yeah, no. Speaking of which, we can move on to KJ if you want next.
Yeah.
He was one of my interns in 2018, and he'll speak more on it. But I'm super proud of that young man, and I've been rocking with him ever since. So again, I thank you all for joining, talking with Dr. Donna, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Robert. Yes, KJ, tell us, what is Downtown Tay? What do you do?
Okay, so downtown Tay is centered in downtown Oakland, and we serve as a resource center for transitional age youth, which will be 16 to 25. So we serve all youth in Alameda County, and we have different resources that we give them. We put the youth through internships, paid internships. So we like to, keep money in our young people's pockets because the distractions outside of the distractions and the streets and everything like that. So we try to have some structure, a program that they can come and enrich themselves at. So yeah, we have basically free resources. We do a free Friday giveaways every Friday, and yeah, we reference people to any support they need to keep it simple.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Okay, let's see. Antoine, let's try you again. Are you back? Let's see what your sound sounds like. All right, let's see. Talk back to me, people. Can you hear Antoine? Say something again, Antoine. I hope you're heard. Yes, because I want to hear about what it is that a violence interrupter. Oh man, Antoine, I don't know what's wrong with your sound. Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you. They can't hear you. Can we take Antoine off and help with his sound? Can we troubleshoot off camera? Okay, they're going to troubleshoot with you, Antoine, and we're going to bring you back on, okay? All right, so Robert and KJ, I think it's amazing what you guys do, and I'm so glad to hear that you focus in on mental health for our young adults and our teens. What are some of the challenges that you're seeing as you're talking to young adults? And I'll start with you, Robert, and then KJ, you can answer as well. What are some of the challenges that you're seeing?
The biggest challenge that I'm seeing is, again, young men of color. And if we're talking, Black Boy Joy, my African American young men, they're having a very difficult time understanding what mental health is, and again, why is it so important? Because in today's society, they're actually, my behavioral health specialist, who I work with my young men at HHREC, he said it best.